Hello, and welcome to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
10D Tech, delivering fast, friendly, and fully managed IT services for Oregon businesses. Call 541-243-7201 and online at 10dtech.com. Join Boson Hub in supporting Kicking Cancer, empowering individuals and their families to thrive in their cancer journey through action, support, and education. kicking-cancer.org. James Reed & Associates, specializing in comprehensive coverage for nonprofits, ministries, small businesses, and personal lines of coverage across the Pacific Northwest. JamesReedAgency.com or call 503-588-8229. Independent Merchant Brokers, innovative solutions for your payment processing needs. 877-460-4747 and on the web, independentmerchantbrokers.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate, statewide experts in luxury home sales, farm, ranch, commercial, business sales, and land developments. Call 541-250-1065 and visit them online at dore.llc.
And now, your hosts for the Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Ta-da! Here we are. Welcome everybody to the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We are so glad to be with you here today. How you doing, Scott?
Hey, I'm doing good. Believers in Business. We've got Michael Holt today from Linkit Media. He's going to be a great guest. Russ, always a great time to start the week off with you here on the Experience Local, and then our Wednesday show, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. But this show is available here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and then broadcast on KWIL and KYKN. And you can always learn more by going to local.theexperience.video.
Yes, and what a blessing that we have that one central place for everybody to go. You can find about all of our shows, and if you miss them on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, you can always listen on audio podcast and on the Experience Radio Network. So thankful for Hope 107 and KWIL for broadcasting, and KYKN in Salem, Oregon. Thanks so much to both of them. And Scott, we just get an amazing opportunity to speak to great people every week, don't we?
There's always inspiring stories. Michael's got a great story to share. He's been on the show before, so some people may be familiar with him, but I encourage people watch the show live, because then you can get in on the comments and post questions and thoughts. I love the interactions that we get from viewers.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's the great thing about the live portion of this show. But you know what? It doesn't matter how you're listening or watching today. We are just thankful that you're here. We couldn't do this without this amazing community. And this show really focuses on your local area, wherever that might be. Now, this started based out of the Willamette Valley when Scott and I were both in the Willamette Valley. And then he absconded off to Texas.
One night.
Yes. One night he ran off to Texas. So now his local area is in the Waco, Texas area in Texas. And then we have occasionally guests in other local areas. But you know what? All local areas need the same thing. Local business needs support. Believers in business need to come together. That's what we're all about, right, Scott?
Absolutely. As we say, isolation is a killer. You need to surround yourself with those who will not let you fail, who understand your world and your business. And that's what we're all about at the Experience Local.
That's right. That's right. Well, You know what? One last thing I want to say before we get going here. And Scott gave you local.theexperience.video. Please go there for all the information. But if you want to go straight to our YouTube and actually subscribe, we'd love for you to go to the experience.video. You can go straight to YouTube there, but you can find it on either one of those sites. But the experience.video will take you directly there. And so thankful for everybody doing that because it's growing by leaps and bounds. And so we're very grateful. So with that, Scott, anything else before we bring Michael in?
Let's bring Michael in.
Let's
hear
get
what's
this
going
show
on in his
started. All right. Hey, Michael.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Oh, so good. So good. You know what? You're always such a blessing, such a positive force to be on with us. So for those people that don't know you, Michael, let's just tell them all, who in the world is Michael Holt? What are you up to?
Gosh, I love it. First of all, I just want to say thanks to you and Scott for bringing me in, letting me share a little bit of the passion of what we do here at Linkit Media. For those that don't know me, my name is Michael Holt. I'm the co-owner of Linkit Media Group, along with my beautiful daughter, and the co-founder of the Linkit Local program, where we just connect like-minded business people together by putting digital screens up and helping people connect and grow their community.
Yeah, so you've got these television monitors that are in businesses around, and they get to promote their products and services, and that's free to get that installed and get that promote. And all you ask is that they allow local businesses, real estate folks, or the veterinarians or whatever to be able to place ads there. I mean, this is a pretty unique service. How did this business come about?
Wow. Well, like I said, I got a partner, my beautiful daughter, who had the concept and idea. Many of you know that I had a career in the casino industry for 33 years, and then COVID showed up. And during that COVID time, the owner ended up selling those casinos. So it gave me an opportunity to do something different, take my expertise of being in that casino for 33 years. And my daughter brought me the concept. It was back when COVID was here, you couldn't touch a menu. So you had QR codes on the top of those tabletops, and people would scan those QR codes, look at their phone. And if you were my age, you had a tough time seeing the menu or seeing what it is that people wanted to be able to buy at that restaurant or that proper location that we had our screens at. So, at Linkit Media, we believe four things. We believe that people buy with their eyes. They buy from who they know, like, and trust. They want to buy local, and they want to work with like-minded people. So my daughter said, "Hey, Dad, let's put some screens up, help those business owners get their message and, put pictures up." We learned at the casino that typically, sales would increase about 10 to 20% more if you put a picture in front of somebody instead of just writing it on a chalkboard or leaving it for somebody to be able to read on from a menu and so forth. So we just created a Linkit Local program where we would go into those locations, give them a couple of big screens, and we give them a content management system, and we gave them a graphics design team to create those pictures. And we said that we do that all at no cost as long as they would let the locals also network. So they became kind of the heroes of the community hub. And it's just where people naturally gather is where we put our screens. And it's a really simple concept that has really taken off and been a blessing. We just celebrated our 5 years, and we're excited and looking forward to see where the good Lord has us heading next.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Always letting God lead the way, Michael. And that is so important. And that's what inspires me the most about you. We get together, we pray together, we support each other. That means more to me than you know. So thank you for that. But tell everybody how important that is really to you, because all that you're doing, you've got new things happening with men's groups and different things happening that God is leading the way. And a lot of business people would say that's getting in the way, but you say, no, God is leading the way, and I'm going to do this.
Yeah, well, thank you too. It goes right back to you, Russ. Those prayers and those times. It's just funny how he connects us at the right time, because we all know as business owners, it's not easy. Being an entrepreneur, not easy. And being a family-based business, really not easy. When you bring all your kids into the mix, even just think about if your daughter was the CEO of your company and I am taking her direction. I'm going to turn 60 this year. She's 30 I believe, I won't say her age, she's 30 something. And, so we all have different thoughts and ideas. And then you bring in the expertise of my oldest son, who's got, the degrees from, NYU and BYU, and he's got the AI world is starting to show up, and some of the things that I can't even pronounce. It's going to take a lot of faith, and Russ and D. Scott, you guys know I'm a Jesus first kind of guy. I try to keep it really simple, but it sounds really good. Hey, put Jesus first or put your faith first into your business, and it's not easy to do that. So one thing I've learned is that when life gets tough, when you have Jesus, everything is working for the good, even when you can't see it. So I'm always looking for the upgrades. When he wakes me up today and I get to come into the office, I just start the day off with thanks, and then I just get to have fun with it, right? Saying, hey, God, use me, use my kids, and just help me shine bright. And then, hopefully we can figure out the pieces to the puzzle, which is this thing called life.
A lot of businesses, Michael, I hear, have trouble finding the right employees and then retaining those employees. And I know your faith has really influenced the way you run the business, the way you treat employees. Talk a little bit about the work environment that you guys have created at Linkit Media.
Yeah. Well, what we know is that you're only as good as your teammates that come along with you. So, the goal at Linkit Media is to create a place where people want to come to work. And our job as leaders is to give them the tools and the equipment and the vision of the company, and then get out of their way. So we're trying to create that work environment that people can show up, still be, leaders of their family, or be able to, to make it to the Little League game, or make it to, our hours are like 7 to 3 and they get an hour lunch break. But more importantly, it's really just trying to create an environment that people can thrive in. And again, it's just a unique way of doing it. I think it's the best way to do it because, teammates can go to work anywhere. And so when they choose to spend time with you, I think we have an obligation as leaders is to give them a safe environment, and help lead with those values that are important. And we seem to have some success with that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, you definitely have had success with that. I love your approach because it's always people first, and you're also family driven, working with your daughter and son and all that you're doing. Just amazing. And sometimes that can be difficult working with family. But you have put together, and when I went there, everybody was smiling. Hopefully it wasn't just for my benefit. Everybody looked happy. So, but it was so great. And, I love all the things you do, but talk about that a little bit. I mean, talk about, going into business with your family and putting these things together and how that works together with your faith and all that's happening. That's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on. And again, it's not easy, right? Because you're spending, 8 to 10 hours a day with those loved ones. And, each one of those children have life that's going on, right? So not everybody sees everything the same way. So we're just there. A really great acronym that you'll hear me say a lot, and it just really hit me. A good friend of mine on the East Coast shared it with me a few years back. But the acronym family stands for forget about me, I love you. And when you join the Linkit family, we look at friends and anybody that joins with us. I mean, really, it's that servant mentality, right? Family, again, if you just say, forget about me, I love you. It sounds a little cheesy sometimes, but really it is impactful. When you get that, I think we're all supposed to be serving one another, and each one of us has different talents. And when it comes to my kids, I am telling you, you just need to get out of their way. The different thought processes. My daughter, she's brilliant. She sees the vision. My oldest son, with workflow for humans, he created something that every business, when you take clarity, when you have this chaos going on in your business, or when you're not on the same page, and you can spend time getting clarity, it means everything. And so to watch him do what he does, and my son Chandler, number one salesperson, he's out there always just the work ethic, what he does is just fun. So, you know, I praise the values, the talents are there, but you're really trying to pour into these kids and see them for who they are. And again, they get to see me from who I am. So walking your talk becomes more important. And we're all sinners, right? We're all broken. We've all made lots lots of
Yep.
mistakes.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, it's not easy. I'd like to tell you it's a perfect day. You know, there's times I've closed the door and the voices have gotten loud as we're passionate about our goals and dreams. But at the end of the day, you know, you let the good Lord have it, and it works. So
Well, I want to tell you, first of all, I want to let everybody know we're talking to Michael Holt of Linkit Media Group. He's an amazing individual. Check out linkitmediagroup.com. But Michael, I grew up in family business. My dad owned a HVAC company that I worked for. Then he owned a satellite TV company that I worked for. Then I went to work for my wife's family's business later on in our marriage. I was a sales and marketing manager for Greer Brothers, which was a landscaping and tree service business. So I had a lot of time to work with family. In fact, at the end there for my job as the sales and marketing manager for the tree service and landscape company, my father-in-law, who started the business, worked for me. My father, who taught me everything I know, worked for me. My beautiful wife, who tells me everything I should know and do, it worked for me. And so for a while. And so there was a lot of family involved, and it's not always easy, and you really have to balance things. And so I just want to tell you, bless you. You're doing great work, and I appreciate you so much. And that tedious part, I think, can be just really difficult. That's where we need Jesus just to work with all that.
yeah. Well, you know, again, you know, the power of prayer when things are tough. I'll tell you, plays such a critical part. And again, guys, sometimes it just sounds easy, right? When if you got a bill that's due or you got a customer that's causing a problem, um, to think the first thing you need to do is bring it to the good Lord and say in prayer. But what's amazing with that, you find such comfort and peace. And you know what? Answers seem to show up. And you know, you don't have to worry about tomorrow. You just need to focus about today and let tomorrow worry about itself. And again, not easy being in a family business and my kids will tell you that too. They joke all the time. They just want to get me retired so I can get out of the way. I said, well, let's get busy and let's go do it. But you know, you do. You have to look long and hard at your strengths and your weaknesses. And sometimes we're out, you know, not on the same page. But I'll tell you guys, the work that we did the last couple of weeks with us being at a 5-year mark and coming into a room with your children. In fact, on my personal Facebook page, I said this, there was us in the room and you guys know all the sticky pads and the whiteboards and all the notes and everything you put up there. We've all been in a SWOT analysis before, which is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But at the end of that presentation, I said to my son, wow, you know, I posted, it's amazing to say to your consultant that's working with you with your business, job well done. And I wanted to say thank you to my son. And then look to my right, the CEO of the company, and tell her you had an amazing vision and it's really, really exciting. And know that's your daughter. You know, it's just that. And Brittany's goal was to bring dad in and give me something that I could do that would be fun and take my expertise from the casinos and create something that was special. And little did we know what we were getting into when we said, let's go create Linkit Local and connect communities together and people together. So it's been fun, not easy. And as you guys know, getting a business from a startup to, you know, to scale it into something special takes a lot of work. It's not
5 years is a magic number.
5 years is,
You know, yeah. You know. So one of the things, Michael, that your company has is a connection to the business community across the country. I don't know how many states you guys are in now, but your team members are talking to business owners across the country. And we're always concerned for the economy, right?
Yeah.
What are your folks hearing?
Well, you know, again, that's a great question. We're in about 32 states now, you know, across, you know, the United States, and you know, onesie twosies in some spots, but you know, obviously in our local neighborhood, we're a little bit more thick. But you know, I think probably the biggest challenge we have is that, most businesses are trying to figure out a way to get leads and be able to convert those leads into customers. And so what we're sharing with them, and that's one of the things that we learned about our Link It Local program, is that we're giving you visibility into a local place that you normally wouldn't get the visibility. And my good buddy, he just turned 88, and he's the most amazing man. One of the biggest blessings of my life was the voice of Les Schwab for 40 years, Ben Tracy. And he said this, and it's really resonated with me, and I think it will resonate with your viewers. As a business owner, he says there's three things that need to happen. You need to get noticed, you need to get remembered before you can get results. And he said, Michael, what I love about your screens is that you're getting people noticed in local places where the community naturally gathers. It's not the screen that's going to, necessarily, yeah, people will look at the screen and they'll maybe scan your QR code but you're getting noticed because you're getting so many rotations in that area wherever you're putting your message up. And it really resonates with us. And so we're working hard at making it affordable for people to get that visibility that they need. And then there's so much more that goes with marketing, as you know, D. Scott. There's just so many pieces to the puzzle. And I think that's what I'm seeing a lot of small businesses need. They need help with all of it, not just a piece of it. And that's what we're trying to do as consultants, is to say, yeah, your ads are great, but if your website's not right, if your message is not right, if you don't know who you're talking to, you may be too soon in the process to put an ad up on our screen. And we'll talk people out of it until they're ready, but we're bringing the resources to them so they can get answers to their questions, starting with that clarity, session where you work with people to give them some clarity so they know what the heck they're after.
Right. Well, and visibility is so important in business, and you are doing such a great job with that. I mean, I know you just talked all about that, but I just want to emphasize you have to be seen, but I also agree with you 100%. You got to be seen in the right areas. You got to have clarity about what your message is and where you're going, because without that, it just becomes a big mess and a big waste of your time, really. And so I think that's important. And, in the time we have left, Michael, give us a couple minutes on how you help guide people that really don't have their message and don't know where they need to be seen.
Yeah, well, usually, what we do is we just start with that onboarding question, right? So when people come to us, lot of businesses already have their message. They don't need any help. They've already either put together their 30-second video or they already have their full screen message. But there's a lot of them that are starting from scratch. So what we do is we take a moment up front with them. We take a look at their social media. We take a look at their websites. We take a look at where they're already marketing. And that's really where that comes into play. In fact, as we know, one of the services that we're getting ready to implement is just that, is the ability to take like my expertise of 33 years in the industry, along with all of the 3,500 businesses that we've sold ads to, and make it so they can have that moment where they can huddle up and get some feedback of where they're at. And then put the partners into place that can help them take their message to the marketplace. In marketing, there's the 4 M's, right? It's who's your target market, what's your message, what media vehicle are you going to use to get that message to that market, and then how do you measure the success of that? And so those 4 M's, as simple as it sounds, is before you go out and buy media, you need to know who your target is and what your message is to them before you go out and start buying ads and putting it all over the place, because like you said, you can get the cart ahead of the horse, and it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, I'm just fascinated by this whole story, Michael. You went from casinos. I mean, you had a big crew there. COVID came, a lot of people changed, and there was discouragement, but your daughter found something, created something, and you were able to do this together. And now you're creating jobs, right? That didn't exist beforehand. So what's the future for Linkit Media? I know you guys have been doing a lot of investigation into the company and where you want to go.
Yeah. Well, I do want to do a shout out to my daughter, Brittany, who is, I'll tell you, her only goal at the time was she wanted to create something for the family. and for people that maybe needed a second chance. I think it motivated her to help put Linkit into place. So, when you ask us, D. Scott, where we're heading, that's a good question for the good Lord above. But what we do see is we're really looking at getting this visibility almost McDonaldized. So it's very, very consistent. So the business owners, our intent is to create revenue for those businesses, not just free screens, but the places where we put our screens, let them have some of that revenue. So when people are sponsoring and putting their ad up, it generates a ecosystem that really does help every local community across the country. And I think, Russ, you said it well, was, local is wherever you're at. D. Scott, you were here with us in Independence, and then you moved to where you're at now. That's your new local place. Russ, we know in all the communities that we hang out in, that's your local place. And local is wherever you're at. And I think our magic that we learned is if we can create an ecosystem that makes the community better, because Linkit Media was consist, I think it serves everybody, and it takes us to our bigger picture, which is to try to serve one another so that we can enjoy this thing called life before you get called home.
That is so, so good. And Michael, man, I tell you, we always appreciate you. Just have a minute or two here. If you would tell everybody how they get in touch with you and how they can get more great information on all that you're doing. And then if you have any last comments, but we got about a minute to do that. Go ahead.
You got it. Well, again, you can reach me at michael@linkitmediagroup.com, or, I'm on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. Linkitmediagroup.com is where we're at. You can get a hold of us that way. And, again, what I want to do is, close with this is just, when you put the good Lord first, you don't have to have all the answers. You know what? You need to have a vision. Take a look at where you want to go, where you want to be. And, then again, put a plan around it, and then let him do what he does. The old saying is, you guys heard me say it before, is we just have to plant the seed. He'll grow the tree. And if we're planting the seed in the wrong soil, he'll move the seed somewhere else. You never give up. You stay at it. It's not going to be easy. It's just not set up to be easy. And we know that isn't what we're supposed to be doing, is finding easy. We're supposed to do the hard work and then go shine bright every day. And I just want to say thank you to you two, to the viewers. Linkit Media would not be where it is today without these two guys that have advised me, have brought people to our circle, and really it's endless. And like you said, Russ, when the prayers show up, when you make that call, or D. Scott, you reach out, it's just magical what that encouragement can do when you're walking through the dream for Jesus. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Michael. We appreciate you. Hang tight in the green room. We're going to say goodbye here, but we'll talk to you in a minute. Thank you.
All right. Take care. God bless you guys.
See ya.
You, Michael.
So amazing. So amazing. So Scott, final
Always
comments.
Great. It's just always great to have Michael on the show. I love the business model. I'm glad that you were able to go and visit their office, because, when you walk in there, you see that what he's talking about is real. They walk the talk, the posters, the atmosphere, the way the staff interacts, as he calls them, team members. It's inspiring and encouraging for other business owners.
Oh, my goodness, for sure. I agree with that 100%. It was a blessing to be able to get up there. Michael and I had gotten together so many times down in my local area here. I finally made it up to his. And so it was so great. And you know what? I just want to encourage everybody, wherever you are, focus on local, focus on supporting the believers in business in your area. Join us every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time for this live stream, but you can also see it on replay or on audio podcast, or you're listening on the radio. Whatever you're doing, we appreciate you. And with that, we're going to say goodbye for another episode. Scott, thank you so much. And don't forget, everybody, live your life and enjoy
your local experience.
There you go. See you, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to find podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.